Welcome to Dubs Talk live from Thrive City here at the Gatehouse. Zena, Keita, joined by Warriors insider, the authority on the Golden State Warriors, Monte, Poole. That's what they say. Google them. That's what they say. But we are here to break down the Warriors' win against the Wizards, 129-118. They are now officially 500 on the season, 14-14.
Ooh, been a while.
There you go. Been a while. And also have won now their 7th straight at home and their 4th in a row. This is a trend. This is a good thing.
Yeah. When you fall 4 games below 500, their pride comes out and you start looking for answers. And I think they found some. Obviously, J.K. has done a great job in place of Draymond. I mean, he's been balling. These last 4 games on this streak, he's shooting almost 70% from the field. Trayce Jackson-Davis just keeps coming off the bench and doing wonderful things.
Right. That's the way to describe it. Wonderful things.
Yeah, it's like really blocking shots, getting rebounds. It's really, if you're a Warriors fan, you've been crying for a big man all these years. And even though he's not 7 feet tall, he plays big.
Yeah.
And you have to love what you're seeing. And you saw it tonight, that one play. We'll get into that. But I mean,
we're going to break it all down.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. But let's talk about the last 4 games here, right? These 4 in a row that they've won, because these are the games that they've had to adjust without Draymond Green, and they have done a really great job. 125 points per game. The offensive efficiency is through the roof. Also looking at their field goal percentage. They're throwing the ball around the court, but being able to find pockets for people to score and, accentuate the way that they want to score. I mean, these numbers are through the roof again. The rebounds. The whole league is looking at the fact that the Warriors are leading the league in rebounds. Yeah. When you look at their roster and that height differential.
The little Warriors.
The little Warriors.
They need a big man. Oh, they're so small. They're little tiny Warriors. Well, you know what? Rebounding is about much more than size.
It is.
Desire,
it is indeed.
Timing. It's a feel for the game, knowing where to go, when to be there. But the only one of those numbers that I thought wasn't that good is the opponents are scoring 119.5 points a game.
I did skip over that one.
Yeah. I mean, so, and you can't keep doing that. But against these teams they've seen, and they managed to beat Boston like that, But when you look at what the Warriors have done just these past 4 games, you see the blend of the veteran guys, Steph and Clay. Clay has been shooting the ball well. And you see the emergence of the young guys. And that's what this team has to do if they want to make a run. Yeah. It can't be the old guys by themselves, and it can't be the young guys by themselves. It has to be both. And you're seeing that now. Draymond's out of the equation right now. Don't know when he'll be back. Figure he will at some point. But right now, what they're doing with what they have is the way they have to play.
It's interesting. The Warriors will, they experienced this last season, and they're going to have to experience it this season when that time will come in terms of having to reconfigure again, right? And right now they reconfigure to a place that works for sure. But one of the things that's going to be steady between the reconfigurations, our BMW Ultimate Performer of the game, that is Stephen Curry. Another amazing chefing it up night for Stephen Curry. 8 3-pointers, most in NBA history, with 75 games with 8 3-pointers. I mean, unreal what he's doing. And at first, you saw the first shots of the game. A few air balls, a few interesting shots being taken. Yeah. And it cleaned up by the second half. He was doing that. Okay, the moves were coming out, folks. He was phenomenal.
Well, when Steph gets it going, it's like he can make the shot from almost anywhere. Literally anywhere. He's made 60-footers, 70-footers. And there's really not a good defense for him. Teams try and just like storm him with 2 people, or they try and blitz him a lot. And sometimes that can work for a while. Yeah. But over time, they figure out ways to get around that too. So you figure at some point when he's out there, his shot is going to show up. There's rarely a night when it doesn't. It happens because nobody's perfect. But tonight, once he got going, I think that's when you knew this game was going to be over, because the Wizards hung around for a while. And then Steph started hitting shots, and the league was like 5, and then 10, and then 12. And I think it's about over.
Well, he had a great, showing of shots tonight. 9 of 18 from the floor. 18 is a good number, especially when you consider everything that everyone around him is doing. And there were particular aspects. You said blitzing, right? When you think about people going at him, well, he had some people to play above the rim with him. And that was JK, one of them, for sure. JK dropping 22 points. He said in the post-game interview with the players that the game is slowing down for him. And, man, right now it looks like he is playing it almost backwards, the way he is just getting buckets at will.
JK's efficiency is off the charts right now.
Yeah.
I don't think this is sustainable. It's too good. It's too good to stay good. This good.
It's unreal.
Guys just don't shoot, 68% over the course of a season, but that's about where he is right now, and he's pushing 70%. So when you're that high, and that's plays like that, that's what get the fans involved, his teammates get involved. Jonathan is playing the kind of basketball they visualized when they drafted him in the lottery 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So you're seeing that, and you see other parts of his game coming along with it.
Yeah.
He's passing the ball. He's making the extra pass,
Yes,
which
he is.
something he didn't do very often before. And he's reducing the number of plays that make you go, what is he trying to do here? Kind of questionable decision-making. His decision-making is better. His passing is solid. His shot is good. And we all see what he can do to a crowd. So
it's
JK
exciting.
is giving this team something to be happy about.
For sure. It's exciting to watch his development. It's exciting for him to stop the fish dribbling, right, that he used to do.
Yeah.
And now dribbling, passing, setting up his teammates. He's actually at the podium. Let's see what he had to say about the game tonight.
Kuminga, what does it feel like out there? You're gaining more minutes. You're looking more comfortable, under the basket. You're grabbing rebounds. You're having fun. Do you feel like you're getting better per game?
Just growth. Part of growth. I won't say I got it all together or situated, but just so far, just growing as a basketball player and trying to figure out how to help a team win. That's it.
They seemed kind of really fired up when you kind of made that extra swing pass to Clay in the first half. I mean, is that how much easier are you seeing those plays this season?
Clay's a better shooter. Good to great, like they always say. No, if it's Clay wide open, I'll just, even if I'm wide open, Clay's even open, I'll just throw it to him back. Like I said, it's about small details, like small things like that. They don't show on the stat, but you get everybody engaged. So once Clay see one fall in that easy, it's gonna make his game easier because the rest of the shot gonna fall through. So. Like I say, a better shooter, wide open, give it to him.
What was it like to see Jordan?
Oh, it was great. That's family. That's my guy. I mean, I was excited to see him back. It was great to see him back for sure.
What do you think of Trayce and what he's been doing?
Trayce been playing very well, man. It's like he understands everything, just the way we play. Like I said, he's playing really well. He knows his position. He knows what he needs to do. Like, it's just so crazy how he's keeping up with everything.
Well, thank you for setting us up, Jonathan Kuminga, because that's exactly who we want to talk about. A player that is playing very well, as Kuminga said, Trayce Jackson-Davis. This is someone that was recruited or drafted 57th. Yeah. He said, y'all will regret this.
Yes, he did.
And when I tell you that message is loud and clear with the way he is playing 2 back-to-back double-doubles, playing above the rim, cleaning it up, put-back dunks, being ready and willing, and, putting his body on the line. And then I just love the hands up when you run away. Like, hey, I'm just doing my job here, okay? Just doing my job, folks. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
He has been phenomenal. What'd you make of his game tonight?
He's the third rookie this season to have. There you go, right there. I was going to say
there
that right there.
Warriors spirit coming in.
And guess who the 2 Rookie of the Year candidates are? Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren.
Wow.
So he's doing things that they're doing. And think about this. Those guys have been playing all season long. Trayce just started playing like a week ago.
Right.
So, that tells you there's so much more in store. But there is something to be said about the amount of experience he brought into this league. He had 4 full seasons of college at Indiana, which is a high-level university. And he knows the game. He has great bloodlines. His father, Dale Davis, was a longtime power forward in the NBA. And so you watch the way he plays, and you can see that he thinks the game. He feels the game. Yeah. He makes smart passes. Steve Kerr, after this game, compared him to Andrew Bogut. which he was asked. Steve was asked, have you, is anybody you've had with you that he reminds you of? And Steve said, it's high praise. It's high praise.
Yeah.
He said, but he's not there yet. But he said Bogut was a master of the dribble handoff and dive to the rim, and he was a brilliant passer and all these things. And TJD was asked about that, about Steve's comments, and he said it's like special because Bogut was a brilliant passer. He was a very good passer. I'm aware of him. I know what he did. And think about this, though. Andrew Bogut was a #1 overall pick when he came into the league. Wow. Trayce Jackson-Davis is number 57 in his first year. When Bogut came to the Warriors, he was already like a 7-year veteran.
Yeah, right.
Trayce Jackson-Davis has played 11 games maybe?
I was going to say 7 weeks.
Yeah.
It's insane how much he's been able to adapt to the game at such a young age and being able to make such heads-up plays and smart plays and being able to, regardless of what's going on the floor, just keeping connected. Because when you think about young players, that's usually sometimes the issue. It's just being aware of what's going on and then figuring out, how do I fit into this? Now, let's talk about the fit, right? And the conversation about the front court. Because it's getting a little crowded in the front court conversation. Let's look at our players tonight. The big dogs on the Warriors. Kevon Looney dropping in 5. Some solid play from Kevon Looney. Yeah. He had an above-the-rim play as well.
Yeah, he got a lob.
He got a lob. There you go. He was like, don't count me out of this conversation. Then obviously Jonathan Kuminga adding his 22. Dario Saric, really solid play from him. He makes those clutch threes. I really love the way that Brandon Pajemski, and I want to get your opinion on this, said we've got 3 types of bigs. He didn't elaborate fully on what that means, but I would imagine, I'd venture to say, one that stretches the floor.
Dario.
Right, Dario. One that is able to set things up for their teammates. Loon. And one that plays above the rim.
Trayce, yeah.
And then JK as well in that conversation. What would you make of that?
Yeah, JK doesn't play the 5 it's really rare.
Yeah, right.
And he doesn't have to now with these 3 guys. But because Steve is okay with putting Dario out there with Trayce because Dario can stretch the floor and let Trayce have the inside. So, I like that move because Dario is not a rim protector. No. We've seen how that works, and it's not good. Yeah. So Trayce in the middle there, Dario can kind of roam and shoot those threes. I think that's a good combination. But when you watch those four names, what I'm seeing is, they're all different. I'm going to leave Jake out of it for a moment because the 3 centers I'm looking at, Trayce actually has a little bit of all those things that Loon and Dario has.
I was going to say
except for the 3-point shot.
I was going to say the same thing.
He's a great screen setter. He can flip the screen, just like Loon. Doesn't shoot the 3 like Dario, but he can pass almost as well as Dario.
Yes, he can.
So, and he's the youngest by far of these guys, and so he's the one who's going to be getting better and better and better. I think Loon and Dario are, they're peaking. They're at their peak.
Yeah.
Trayce is a few years away from his peak. So to know that, if you're a Warriors fan, if you're Steve Kerr, if you're Steph Curry and his team, you're like, wow, this kid is really already this good, and he only played a handful of games. Wait till he has a few years. Special.
That's exciting.
Special.
All right. Well, what's more exciting is that on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about a person coming back home a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan
JP.
Poole was back in the building. Big game for him tonight. We're going to talk about it when we come back on Dubs Talk Live. Don't go anywhere.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Mancini Sleep World. Visit Mancini Sleep World during the year-end clearance event or visit sleepworld.com.
We need a small business loan fast.
I got this. Loan Falcon!
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. Go to OnDeck.com, and if approved, get your funds as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck.
Everything you've seen me do was made possible by what you don't see. Because when you're not looking, I go to work. Strength isn't a given. It's grown. It's earned and tested. We all have the strength to see what's possible. It's up to us to unlock it. Tonal, be your strongest.
For many individuals and families in the Bay Area, food insecurity is a daily struggle. That's why NBC Bay Area
y Telemundo 48 junto con Safeway
need your help in nourishing our neighbors this holiday season.
Busca la hoja para donar en las cajas registradoras. And for just $10, a bag of groceries will be donated to local food banks.
Juntos podemos hacer la diferencia en la vida de quien más lo necesita.
Together, we can nourish our neighbors across the Bay Area.
Pajamas help me sleep great, but some foster kids don't even have PJs. That's why Mancini Sleep World and the Ticket to Dream Foundation are hosting a pajama drive for foster kids. Bring new PJs to any Mancini Sleep World.
You'll never guess what we're doing to the Baconator. We're putting it...
pretzel bun? On the Baconator. Catherine, you seeing this?
Posters everywhere.
What?
The Baconator you love with a new pretzel twist. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new Pretzel Baconator.
Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live. Zena, Keita joined by Monte, Poole, breaking down the Warriors' win 129-118 over the Washington Wizards. Now, this game had a lot of buzz around it, not necessarily because the competition was going to be super duper hot, but there was a particular person that was going to come back to Chase Center that there still has a very soft spot in a lot of Warriors fans' hearts, and particularly the hearts of the team. We saw that on display tonight, Monte.
Yeah, yesterday we talked to Andrew Wiggins, and Andrew and Jordan are boys. I mean, they're tight.
They're homies.
Yeah, they are really. And so, Andrew was great just talking about his memories with Jordan and how, they still text and talk each other. They're brothers now.
Yeah.
So, but he was saying that, one of the things that he talked about was how, Jordan handled the whole thing after the Draymond punch. And he said he handled it like a pro. Andrew said, I think he handled it better than 99% of people would handle it.
Right. I would
because
imagine.
Jordan just stayed about his business. He didn't get into it. He didn't belabor it. He didn't go on and on about it. He just played basketball. He wasn't as good as he had been the year before.
Facts.
And I think, again, we can all figure out why. But when you look at what he was able to do that previous year, that championship season, Steve Kerr was right when he said yesterday that we don't win that championship without him.
Yeah.
The Warriors did not have Klay Thompson at the start of that season.
Yeah.
Jordan started for Klay. When Steph got hurt toward the end of the season, into the playoffs, Jordan started for Steph. So he was that third guard who was a perfect blend of what the Warriors needed: speed, getting past people. And so watching him come back was just like one of those things where, he still has that burst. He didn't have a great night. 7 of 21 shooting is not great. But you can see him, I think the joy of basketball is starting to come back to him.
Yeah.
And I think in time his game will follow.
Well, I thought it was beautiful that the Warriors did commemorate his return with that beautiful video as he was being announced.
Yep.
And just making sure that the Warriors fans got a chance to give him the ovation that he deserved.
Absolutely.
And you felt it. The roar was loud for him. It's funny. He had an air ball tonight, and you could see people want to call out air ball and then shift to hand claps. People shifted to hand claps. They're like, we ain't going to do our boy like that. We can't do that. We can't do that. But it was really a sentimental moment all around. And I'd mentioned in the postgame when I was standing waiting for interviews with players, I saw GP2 bring Jordan Poole back, and he was, chopping it up with the guys that stand there, security, chopping it up with, other employees with the Warriors. He was 1,000%. It was as if he had never left.
Yeah.
So the love is still there.
Oh, yeah.
The sentiment of, him being a part of the Warriors, for sure, definitely still there.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah.
Before the game, he's out there seeing all these familiar faces that he hadn't seen, and he's smiling, he's shooting threes, and before the game, warming up and stuff. And I think for Jordan, this is familiar to him. The only thing that was unfamiliar to him was the locker room. He was in the other locker room this time, which is a little weird.
Yeah.
But if you're Jordan, he's one of the guys that really was part of the team that kind of got this building built. He was one of the first guys in here.
He did the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was with the hard hat and everything.
Yeah.
So
I'm happy he was able to come back. And, if you're a Warriors fan, obviously you don't want the Warriors to lose, but, you want JP to play well. But I think it's just great to have him back and see that he's in good spirits and playing the game at a high level.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the other things that the Warriors did really well tonight. 33 assists. 33. Mind you, even before the second quarter was done, they were already at their average that 14.9 in the first half. They were already there. already there. The ball was flying around the court tonight. They were seeing each other. They were opening. And what I loved about it was was going from one side of the court to the other. Drive and kick, drive and kick. I thought tonight was just a showcase.
That was a great pass by Chris.
Wonderful pass.
And that's what J.K. was talking about. He said Clay's a better shooter.
Yeah, there you go.
J.K. had an open shot, but Clay had an open shot too. Yeah, that was great too. I mean,
A+ on that test.
It was
JK.
it's not just the amount of passing. It was the accuracy of the passes, the timing of the passes, hitting guys in that pocket that you have to hit them in if you want an easy bucket.
Yep.
And a lot of times guys make the right pass, but it's too high or too low or something. These passes were they were on target tonight. So this team, some of the turnovers that we saw early in the season were bad passes.
Yep.
Off this way, off that way. They're starting to figure out, okay, where the pass needs to be and when it needs to be there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you see the turnovers start to come down a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of this team.
The turnovers did come down. There's only 12, but Wizards were still able to capitalize,
live
right?
ball turnovers. Yeah,
live ball turnovers are tough because you got to turn back around and always know that that's where the Warriors get in trouble with the fouling.
Yep.
Is trying to stop the ball when it's being turned back over. But I will say, when I was looking at some of the passes that were being made, I also saw a level of comfortability and familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting when you think about these rotations being kind of flipped and flopped and all the above, there was that one particular play in transition. Chris Paul had J.K. running on the outside.
Mm-hmm. On the wing.
And on the wing.
Yep.
And he said, hey, point it up, right?
Yep.
They've had a little bit of time playing together on the bench, of course.
Yep.
Threw it up, didn't quite get the alley
Right.
that way. Had to come down, clean it up, this and that.
Right.
But you saw those type of plays happening with Trayce and Steph.
Yes.
Who isn't always playing together,
Right.
So I'm loving this familiarity. Are you seeing the comfortability come together too for the Warriors?
Oh, yeah. I mean, things always come better when you start to win a few games. And these guys don't get a lot of practice.
Yeah, that's right.
But they're hanging around each other, and you can see the teams getting a little tighter as the season goes along.
Yep.
And they've all seen what Trayce can do since training camp. And they knew that he could do some of these. He could play above the rim. And, for a long time, they kind of were like, okay, he's going to play a little bit here and there. And now he's playing so well, he's too good to take off the floor. You got to give him his minutes.
Yeah.
Tonight he had 25 minutes. Last game he had 28 minutes, 29 minutes. So it's fun to watch because it's like a highlight show, and the Warriors haven't done much of that early this season.
I want that for him. I think that's wonderful that he has the opportunity to show his ability and show his adaptability to the league.
Yes.
Right? Because that is, I think, the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where he has to go, and you see his ability. You see his potential. He's just scratching it.
Yeah.
This guy's going to have some games where he scores 25 points and has 15, 16 rebounds and 4 or 5 blocks.
Yeah.
Those are coming.
Yeah.
Maybe coming sooner than we think.
What's funny is that you also don't know, when you look at a Jonathan Kuminga and he's getting some opportunities to play, that's when it was finally able to showcase what he's capable of doing.
Yeah.
Trayce Jackson-Davis also getting that. Well, the Warriors are going to have more opportunities to showcase what those two are able to do. They're going to be back home tomorrow. Let's talk about that on the other side of this break, what the Warriors have to look ahead to.
Timing is everything. And now is the time to buy during the year-end sell-a-thon at your California Ford dealer. It's time for our biggest offers of the year, like $4,550 cash back plus 2.9% financing for 60 months on Ford F-150. Get huge savings across our entire lineup, like $6,000 total bonus cash on Ford Bronco Sport. Now's the time to buy during the year-end sell-a-thon, but time is running out. These offers absolutely end on January 2nd, only at your California Ford dealer.
As a combat wounded veteran, I know how hard it is to come home and build a meaningful life. When I was in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. A rocket-propelled grenade exploded right under my seat. Traumatic brain injury, a fractured pelvis, severe burns. They didn't think I was going to make it. I had to learn to walk again and live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like LaToya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
With DAV on my side, I was able to pursue my dreams. If my story can touch a heart, it can change a life. My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
LaToya Lucas, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
This will always be home to me. Thank you for this honor of a lifetime.
From deep third, got him! And that's a perfect game!
I think the state of the San Francisco 49ers is that we should win it all.
What a game for Steph Curry. What he's doing at the age of 35 is just ridiculous. He looks like he's getting younger.
Great to see him. You know, obviously you have a lot of history and, you know, love to do what he brought to our team. Brought back some good memories, obviously, and glad the fans gave him the response they did. It's really weird playing against him, but it was fun. And obviously, I hope he had enjoyed the respect and the reception that he got.
Got a 4-game win streak now. What are you noticing about what's going right flow-wise in these last few games?
I mean, I think overall, just playing with some good energy. As crazy as it sounds, I know we have a standard. Like, I know we can play better. That's how I kind of think you appreciate the wins, but you kind of focus on the areas that we still can get better at, especially defensively. We're winning despite our defense taking some steps back, which we can in order for us to keep this winning streak and keep the vibes going, we have to, you know, address that. But for the most part, you're learning lessons with winning. Guys are stepping up all across the roster. You know, Trayce and what he's been doing, CP steadily, you know, plus 27 in a game where, you know, he controls the flow from the time he steps from the floor. BP giving us great energy. So, you know, Clay shooting the ball great, making, you know, playmaking, taking what the defense gives him. Everybody's contributing. JK being efficient out there on the floor. So everybody's trying to step up and make an impact and take their opportunity and run with it. And we're doing that, and it's leading to wins.
Did you?
Can't believe we're already at time. It's always worth it when you get to hear Steph Curry. Zena, Keita, Monte, Poole, appreciate you joining us for the night. Are you excited about tomorrow's game?
Yeah, chance to get over 500. It's been like 6 weeks since they've been there. So a winning record is huge for this team.
Big game against Portland tomorrow, 5:30, 4:30 pregame show. Make sure to join us. Thanks for joining us tonight on Dubs Talk Live.
Toyotathon is on. Time to make the holidays picture perfect with a new Toyota, like Camry, Tacoma, Grand Highlander, and more. Celebrate the season with a new Toyota. We're gonna need a bigger tree.
Right now, get $1,000 cash back on Camry and Corolla when you finance with Toyota. Or lease a Camry for just $279 a month plus $1,000 bonus cash.
'Tis the season for Toyotathon.
Toyota, let's go places.
It's all about putting in the work. I prepare the same way for the long haul. Tono gives you all those stats to be able to say, okay, let's do this now. It's all about just training your mind to be as great as we can. Tono, be your strongest.
Service Champions, we're now offering $68 furnace tune-ups with a free water heater safety inspection, high-five service, champion attitude. Call 800-5-CHAMPS.
This is Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Oracle Park January 6th through 7th. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Great Clips. You have to see it live, so lock in your seats today at monsterjam.com.
Look, Mom, I found one.
Oh, yeah, you did, but we need an ATM from our bank, unless you want to spend a small fortune in fees.
No, thank you.
Banking with us means more fee-free ATMs than the 2 largest U.S. banks combined.
Well, that would be convenient, but there is no BMO here.
You can just call us BMO. And there is now. You know what else is convenient? Mobile banking that makes it easy to track your goals and manage your money.
Get out of town.
But we just got here.
When a bank helps you get and stay ahead, that's the BMO effect.
BMO.
Welcome to Week 16 of 49ers Game Plan, presented by Zena, the official eyewear of the San Francisco 49ers. I'm your host, Carlos Ramirez. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this primetime showdown on Monday for what could be a Super Bowl preview between the NFL's current number 1 seeds, the Ravens, and the 49ers. Both these teams are among the best in offense and defense, so it'll be quite the heavyweight fight on Christmas night at Levi Stadium. Looking ahead to this big matchup, let's hear from head coach Kyle Shanahan, who sat down with the voice of the 49ers, Greg Papa.
Let's just start with the quarterback, because he will run zone